Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Washing Dishes where we're doing something a little different today. As you may have guessed, my hair's down because we're not cooking, so I don't need to have it up. It's the holiday season and I didn't want to do another gift guide like everybody's doing, but I did want to share some of my favorite professional tools with you. These are just stuff that we use all the time in professional kitchens without even thinking about it, that you can really just add to your home kitchen equipment to really make some kind of cheap and really quick level ups to everything from tools to storage to just like miscellaneous stuff to have around. So it falls into a couple of categories, a lot of storage and a lot of tools you maybe didn't think about existing. Or didn't you think about using that way? So we'll dive into them. I'll try to keep the related stuff together, and we'll go through it. So stick around and get some good ideas for leveling up your kitchen. Or hey, if you do need a gift for the cooking friend or family member in your life, I gotcha. So yeah, hang out. So let's talk storage first. I've got a few things out here, and we're going to go through them. The first, well, actually, a lot of these are essentially what I jokingly call professional Tupperware. So let's go through those. So deli cups come in a variety of sizes. They're thin plastic cups. This one holds 8 ounces. This one holds 32, or a cup and a quart. They come in 8, 12, 16, 20, and 32, and probably stuff in between as well. You can usually get a sleeve of 50 for somewhere in the like $4 to $8 range. The lids are universal. This is a sleeve of 50 that I think I paid $4 for. So yeah, deli cups are convenient. You can wash them or not. I won't judge you if you make them single use. But in restaurants, we generally wash them and reuse them. One step up in durability from deli cups is, well, let's get into, so this is a brand name, Cambro, C-A-M-B-R-O. These are 1 quart Cambros. They come with a lid. These are nice because they stack on top of each other, very nice. And they also, as you saw earlier, have very secure lids. Yeah, that happened. Anyway, they stack on each other and in each other. Cambro also makes other shapes. This is a 4 quart or 1 gallon container. Again, it will stack. Comes with a lid. The lids, they're bigger lids and bigger containers. They're smaller lids and smaller containers. And then the other style I want to talk about is, so these are plastic, what's called either hotel pans or steam table pans. This is a standard size lid for a 1/6 pan. This one has handles. And this is the 6th pan. These are named because you can fit 6 of these in a full hotel pan. They come in, this is non-heat safe plastic. These are fine up to like 150, 175 degrees, but you wouldn't want to put like boiling liquid in them. It'll break them. If you do need a container like this to hold something hot, they come in metal. These are metal steam table or hotel pans. This is a 1/6 4-inch pan. This is a 1/6 6-inch pan. Sometimes you'll hear them called 400 or 600. The number of hundreds is just the number of inches. I don't know where that started, but we do it. And then the last thing is something that you are already familiar with, but I'm going to show you a different form factor for it. And that is restaurant size plastic wrap. These are essentially like 5 rolls of plastic wrap for half the price that you would pay for 5 rolls of plastic wrap on a nice roll that lays out easily and has a really efficient cutter. I guess I just wasted that. Oops. Yeah, this puts whatever cling wrap you've got at home to shame in both functionality and ease of use. Pick one up, find some space for it. That's the storage. Like this, there's some other stuff that is just a form factor you may not have considered or a tool to use in a way you haven't done it. So let's get on to that set of stuff next. Now let's talk about some tools that you probably just didn't think would be different in restaurants. The first one is kitchen towels. So professional restaurants sometimes have pot holders, but mostly, especially in the middle of service and when you're in a hurry, you're just going to use a towel to pick up whatever you need to pick up. A dry towel. Wet towels are a steam burn, dry towels are a pot holder. Commercial kitchen towels like this, restaurants go through hundreds a day. You can probably find a pack of 24 or 50 at a Costco or your local restaurant supply store. Use them just for the kitchen, and when they get dirty, turn them into rags. Don't use nice fancy kitchen towels like decorative ones for dirty tasks. Use these. They're more reusable than paper towels and cheaper than the fancy stuff. This is my go-to kitchen knife. It's an 8-inch Victorinox. I have no particular love for Victorinox. My colleague gave this to me. I like it. I also have an 8-inch Mercer that I got in culinary school that I use when I grab that one first. They're both great. I like them both. A $40 to $60 professional grade chef's knife will outperform anything you can buy at Walmart, Target, stuff like that. Don't gesture with a knife. It's dangerous. This knife, I don't really care about. This was a $19. I've had this knife for 12 years. It's a Dexter. It's a perfectly good knife. There is nothing wrong with this knife. If you need a good professional kitchen knife and don't want to spend very much money, Dexter is where you go. This knife has gone up in price. I think it's about 35 bucks. But I have this knife. It's a little bit bigger. It's a 10-inch. But I have this knife because it's a knife I don't really have to care that much about. So if I need to cut something that's on a plate or still on a roasting rack, or if I do this and accidentally hit my table, it's not the end of the world. I keep this knife fairly sharp, but when I get my knife professionally sharpened, I don't bother with this one. This one is fine at home. Yeah, like I don't abuse this knife. It's just a knife that I don't have to take super careful care of. The last thing in this section is these little metal jars. We call them Bain Maries. They're multifunctional. The first functionality for them is that you can put them in a pan of water and they will keep the contents separate from the water while you heat the water and heat up the contents. They're great for that. You can also use them to store liquids if you put saran wrap over the top. What I like them for, and what pretty much every line cook in every restaurant has, is a Bain Marie of their own personal tools. This is great. It's really handy. It keeps everything in easy reaching distance, saves drawer space. Yeah, that's what I use this one for. But they're super handy. They're heat safe. I wouldn't put them directly on a flame, but in a pan on the stove, as long as they're floating a little bit, you're good to go. You can put them on direct heat in a pan. And I guess that just leaves some stuff you see in professional kitchens that you rarely see in home kitchens, but that are super useful and do some fun stuff. So let's get on to those. Now, the last few things are definitely just nice to haves. The first is, so these are your standard round cutters, circle cutters. They're great. They're nesting. They come in, there's a dozen in here. These are round. Did you know they make square ones? They do. They also make them in stars and leaves and any shape you can imagine. And usually there's several sizes, and usually they're about half what you'd pay for lower quality less reliable thinner metal cookie cutters. This is a brand called Ateco, A-T-E-C-O, but other companies make them as well. Squeeze bottles. Squeeze bottles exist in every restaurant you've ever been to. You've seen them. We put ketchup and mustard and mayo in them. I put my vegetable oil in them. You can just keep a few around the house and put sauce in them. If you make a sauce and you've got leftovers, store it in this. It's nice, easy to dispense, no mess. Also, if you want to make really pretty, fancy looking meals, a squirt bottle is your best friend. These are 475 mils, which is 16 ounces, I think. I don't know. But they come in everything from like 2 ounces to, I think they come 2, 4, 8, 16, 20, and 32. But you can find them in a variety of sizes. It's really handy. Then the last thing I want to talk about is this. This is a little dredging canister. Top screws off, you put seasoning in here. Top screws back on. You shake. It's like the Parmesan shakers when you go to, pizza joints. This is great if you have a meal that you make a lot that uses a seasoning blend that you make a lot. Make a bunch of it, put it in here. You can protect the contents with a little piece of plastic wrap over the top before you screw it down. That will keep things reasonably airtight. I really like this. So I make, on my days off, I generally make eggs and potatoes for breakfast and bacon if I have bacon around or some other meat. And I have a breakfast potatoes seasoning that's like cumin and paprika and garlic powder and onion powder and chili powder and some other stuff. And when I make it, I just ran out this morning. When I make it, I put it in here and shake, shake, shake into the pan. Easy peasy, because I already have the ratios correct. I'm forgetting something. I always do. We always do. We're human. It's what we do. We make mistakes. But hopefully those are some useful ideas for upgrades for your kitchen, or if you need gifts for the culinary fan in your life, consider those some suggestions. Hey, what's your favorite doesn't show up very often tool that you use in your kitchen? I would love to hear some cool stuff people have, even if they're unitaskers. Hey, Alton Brown didn't smite me. There we go. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've got some useful information. We'll be back in a couple weeks with our usual cooking video. And if you're really jonesing for a cooking video, I've probably put a couple on screen here. Maybe? Yeah, you know I do. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your time zone. And catch me in the socials and the usual places. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful rest of your time zone. I already said that, but, Bye, y'all.